Um, we're on. How's it going, everybody? Welcome back to a beautiful, when you're hearing this, Friday morning, 9:15. I hope you have a cup of coffee in your hand. I know Thomas and I both have one ready to go. Thankfully, Thomas went out and picked some up for us. Hope you got a coffee. Hope you're driving safe. Hope you're doing hands-free on this podcast and not touching your Spotify or your Google podcast. Sorry to take a sip of the H2O this morning. Today's a special day. We have Thomas Wiley, our talent acquisition manager. He was gracious enough to hop in as Rob Zamaro, our current co-host. Had some technical difficulties with his car, and he's going to be out for this episode, but he will be back episode 3. But Thomas took a minute out of his busy schedule to hop on here. We got some exciting hiring news. We got some exciting culture news. But this one's going to be a short one today, and we're going to talk about very specific things. Thomas, before we get started.
Yes.
You've been on this episode before.
I have. Great time.
I'm going to forget those keys that I just threw there. But you've been on here before. It's been a bit. Remind the people who you are, and I'm gonna set you up for this one. I do this every time, and I know you answered this.
Okay.
You're getting off. We just talked about this. You're getting off the plane at Dulles.
Yep.
Okay?
Yep.
No car. You don't have the, what is it, Charger? Mustang? What do you have outside?
It's a Mustang, yeah.
Not a big car whiz, so I was close. So you don't have the Mustang with you, all right? But you do have a phone. Thankfully, technology's there, and you're like, you know what? I'm gonna get an Uber because I've got to get out of this airport to where would you be going if you left Dulles?
I'm going home, man.
Going home.
I'm going home.
You're going to big old Richmond.
Yes.
So you're trying to get to Richmond. You call. You get an Uber. Uber X is a little too expensive, so you settle with the Uber. It's gonna take a little longer, but it's Uber. You're fine. Daniel, the Uber driver, pulls up just on time. You get in. Nice seats. He's got his generic Today's Top Hits playing. And you're sitting there and you're like, wow, it's good to be here. We're safe. And Daniel turns around and he says, I'm going to turn around with me. Mr. Wiley, what is it that you do for a living? What are you going to tell him? And not necessarily for a living, but what do you do?
Yeah, so last time I said I create opportunity, which I do believe I do, and I can go with the same answer.
I think you should switch it up.
Definitely, I'm going to switch it up. How boring would it be if I stuck with the same thing? No, so I would basically tell him in a nutshell, because I could go on and on and on with talent acquisition. I just could, because there's just so many things involved in it. But I would simply tell him that I am the manager of a large local window company, Renewal by Andersen, Central Virginia, Richmond Window Corporation, that focuses on bringing in the top talent for our future. And obviously it would spin off, right?
Yeah.
He'd say, oh, well, what kind of positions do you hire? Or, what kind of people are you looking for? We're looking for great people.
Yeah.
We're looking for difference makers. We're looking for people who want to be part of such a growing and captivating culture that it's all about the human experience,
right.
The candidate experience. And that's what we're all about.
Yeah.
So at that point, I would expect him to wow. And, I can look up in the rearview mirror as he's driving and he's looking at me and his eyes are getting all big.
No, he reaches down and turns off Today's Top Hits. He stops Rihanna or Miley Cyrus and he says, you hire legends of tomorrow?
Yes.
And then by that point, he would stop Ubering and come on down.
This could eventually spin off into a job opportunity for said name Uber driver.
Daniel.
Yeah.
Daniel's pretty devout, and he's picked up a lot of our employees. So he's probably going to stick around. He's definitely heard of us at this point.
Our business cards are lined up on his dashboard.
Right. Every time someone gets in, he says he's like, here's Renewal by Andersen. Say some cliche. I'm a difference maker, Daniel.
Difference maker.
That's exciting. Listen, before coming to Renewal, when I was just a wee boy, I didn't know much about talent acquisition. It always seems like in most companies, there's I picture it as two islands. There's island where Thomas from talent acquisition lives, far away from the actual company. And all Thomas does on his island is he's a good person, he's articulate, and he graduated. And then Thomas sends that telegram all the way back to island of employment, and they're like, oh yeah, send him in. And usually nothing clicks, and it's just like, you're a decent guy, come on and work for us.
Yeah.
But you seem to have a very intricate part of the whole process. And you're not only involved in the talent acquisition, but you're also part of marketing. You're knee deep in the culture.
Yeah.
You understand what we need, and it really aids you in hiring. Like, how important is like just getting in the thralls of the culture when it comes to actually hiring someone for you?
You know, I can't say it's the most important thing because there's just so much involved in it. But talent acquisition in general, you got to think to yourself, you know, you are really the first person, you know, whether it's me or Vanessa reaching out to somebody, you're really the first person to make contact with somebody who is interested in your company or somebody that you sought out, you know, in a headhunting aspect or whatever the case may be. So what kind of example do you want to put in front of those potential candidates, you know?
Yeah.
And that's where the candidate experience comes from. It is all about people. As a matter of fact, we were doing a leadership meeting yesterday, and there's a human aspect in everybody that you come across.
Yeah.
All right. And yes, there are important things like their experience, how they conduct themselves, their professional, you know, capabilities, all those things, right? But there's a human aspect before all of that. And part of our job is to tap into that human aspect because you know what? Good humans, good people will be loyal employees, will want to grow, will want to continue to help us get to where we want to be. And, you know, it's so rewarding. We just poked our heads into
Lucas's
the
team. Non-traditional.
How many people were in there?
I'd say 20.
20,
yeah,
if not more.
And they all had a smile on their face too.
It's so rewarding to see that, man, because you know, it's with where we've come from COVID, you know, COVID where everybody was working remote or getting laid off, you had all these different things going on to getting back into the normalcy, but you know, them all knowing that we have their best interest in mind, that we have their growth in mind. And it all starts with the human and candidate experience, dude. It's so powerful.
It's so powerful.
So powerful. It really is.
Yeah. No, Lucas does a great job. He's the man.
He's got a way of really just connecting with his team, you know, and we have a lot of conversations about, you know, different innovative things when it comes to talent acquisition, how to reach the community, how to, you know, post in different, you know, whether it's a call for action or anything like that. And he's always open to different ideas. I mean, what more could you want from a hiring manager, right? So, and to see where his team is at right now, obviously we're still hiring for his team, but to see where his team is at right now is it just brings like this warm and fuzzy to my heart.
No, he does an incredible job, and like you said, when it comes to stuff like that, it's just especially him because it's so interesting because his role is like literally the old school marketing, like knocking on doors, and it takes a special type of person, and he seems to find them every time.
Yeah,
it takes a resilient person to just be always smiling, always go getting it.
It does.
Yeah,
it does. And but you know, as a leader, though, you know, we have Lucas and we have Eric and we have all these people in these different departments. If you're a leader who can capture and bring out the best in your people, they will want to continue to grow with you.
Yeah, you
know, it's nothing that's, you know, being forced or anything like that. But if you are a captivating leader who leads by example, they're going to want to grow with you.
Right.
And, you know, that I think that we do a phenomenal job in every department here and just bringing that out in our employees. And, I mean, you think about some of the things that we've just been awarded, you know, what is it, best workplace enrichment for the 5th year.
Yeah.
Right. All the charitable giving that we give or that we do every year. You know, I mean, it's just, it's all going to be something amazing. I can't wait to see what this thing looks like in like 3 to 5 years.
No, and like you said, it's kind of like, it's breathed into everything, like the heart of everyone, especially because I was just talking to the salespeople, and they mentioned how even if you, like once you purchase a window, we give you like $100 to spend on your favorite charity, or like we do these different donations. Like it seems like it's always at the forefront of each department. It's super cool to see.
Absolutely.
But this is going to be a cool episode.
I think so.
Because I didn't even realize that Lucas and Eric, they're hiring as well.
Yeah, they are.
This is a perfect day for you to be on. I'm going to name this podcast Want a Job. Renewal by Andersen Job Opportunities.
Employment opportunities.
Click here to enroll. But no, huge stuff with them. Do you know, what can you tell me about their opportunities before we get into the meat and potatoes?
Yeah, so we obviously have our non-traditional marketing department, all part of marketing, but you have your traditional. So in our non-traditional aspect, we have our events and retail representatives, and we have our door-to-door canvassers, or our direct marketing associates. So those are 2 opportunities that are available, both on full and part-time. They're it's an opportunity if you're like at an entry level phase or even at an experience phase. And we have people apply to this position from all different types of backgrounds simply because of its flexibility and the different nature. But, you know, when you're talking about Lucas's position, you're talking about representing our company in a retail store, at a weekend event, at an expo show. You know, we have a huge expo show coming up here in March, the Richmond Home and Gardening Show. So, you know, it's an opportunity for you to talk to the customer base and tell them a little bit more about our windows, our doors, and our company, right? Because as you talk to these people, yes, you can talk to about, you know, you can let them know about windows and doors, but obviously they're going to come to know our company as well. And so on Eric's side, though, you good over there, man?
I muted it. Don't worry. Just choking on water. But continue.
No, so on Eric's side, though, yeah, you have. It's not a dying trend. It's not a dying position, but you know, going door to door and knocking on people's doors, it's powerful and it's a great opportunity for somebody looking to get in sales in their future, to really mold, shape, and enhance their communication skills. And it's a great opportunity. Obviously, his team is already growing tremendously, and we're looking to continue bringing people in on a full and part-time basis for that. And it's always there. It's always there. So I highly recommend you reach out to us and you know, apply to one of those positions.
Absolutely.
I guarantee myself or Vanessa will be the first one to reach out to you, and I guarantee you won't be disappointed.
Yeah. And I know to the potential employees listening, I know the best way for me was to kind of envision not necessarily who I'd be, but who would be the ideal person for that job. And like, I know from past employees, you know, one of the most successful ones was just an always happy-go-lucky guy.
Yeah.
Always was smiling, said hi to everybody, had an energy about him, went to, you know, got his coffee every morning, came in, lit up everybody's day, everybody's room.
Yep.
And he just loved it, man. It was tough, but knocking on doors, he met so many people, and you don't necessarily have to like always be selling. It's just about connecting with each person every time you knock on a door. And it, like you said, that's such a fundamental skill to be able to meet someone, relate to them, get them to trust you. You can turn that over into any future job. Absolutely. If you want to stay and grow as a canvasser, it's also super crucial. And like you said, sales, I don't think there's a more important skill in life than connecting with human beings. Especially if you can do it in like 5 seconds, your networking will be huge, your life skills, your articulation, your business communication. Man, I'm just like stuffy today. Anyway, if you're interested in this job position, can you tell us about the compensation at all?
Yeah. So we start both positions, marketing representative and canvassing, at $17 an hour.
Yeah, that's huge.
There's a bonus structure involved, which it's kind of detailed, but basically what you're doing is you're being compensated off of the sets that become demos. So as you speak to people, you know, you set them up with a set or an appointment for a design consultant to come out and meet with them. Once that meeting happens with that design consultant, it then becomes a demo. You're going to be bonused on those.
Yeah.
And then we have a travel compensation involved with the marketing representative position because, you know, we have a fairly big radius in our AO, our area of operations. Sorry, military term.
I love it.
And then, you know, and you have the flexibility of a full and a part-time schedule as well. But we have a huge, very competitive benefit program for our full-time employees. It is commensurate with your pay range, and it's, you know, not to speak negatively on other companies, but it's not a benefits program that's going to break the bank, you know, with what we pay you. So those are there, and who wouldn't want to be part of a company with such a great culture? You know what I mean? So,
that's what I'm saying. Hey, you and I are here.
Exactly.
What else do you want?
Exactly.
No, absolutely. I mean, there's such like, I don't know, Lucas is the man, Max, Erica, Eric, all the people that you would report to, I guess, in that chain.
Yeah.
Super motivated people, super cool.
Yep.
They're always here with a smile on their face. If you're interested, this has become a whole infomercial. Make sure you call Thomas, call Vanessa, email, DM us, any way that you feel led to communicate. Just do it.
I'm going to make it real easy on you. As a matter of fact, if you're interested in any of our positions, you can actually text to apply.
Wow, I didn't know we were there yet. We have a text to apply
We
now?
have a text to apply, man.
Let's go.
And-
Give us that number.
Yep, that number is 804-286-6007.
One more time for us, Thomas.
804-286-6007.
Wow.
I like
And
that.
and you can text somebody to say jobs. I'm interested.
Yep. So you can text careers. I'm interested. Whatever floats your boat on that text platform. And then what'll happen is you'll get an alert back, and it'll take you to our ATS platform that shows you all of our open positions. And submit your resume. Let us know that you're interested, and we are very quick to reach out to everybody that reaches out to us. So typically within a 24-hour time frame.
I love it. I will say that Thomas is quick on the gun with the responding. Text him this morning. I texted him was it last night or this morning that I texted you? It was this morning.
Yeah.
I had finished my dog walk, and I was like, I need Thomas for something. It was actually for this podcast. Like I said at the beginning, Thomas filled in, and I was sitting there. I just had my large cold brew with a shot of espresso from my favorite coffee shop.
Great choice, man.
And I said, man, let me text Thomas. Responded instantly with a few typos.
Yeah.
But he got back to me right away. Thomas is the coolest guy. He'll be your liaison, or Vanessa, or somehow you're going to be in contact with Thomas, and he will get you straight.
Absolutely.
Following that up, heartbreaking news.
Uh-oh. Yes.
In the creative department,
yes.
where I live, we had we're going to call him man number one. Man number one was communications project manager, was the man. He still is the man. He's just no longer with us. He found a different job, just pursued a different opportunity that was better for him and his situation. And now there's a position available. This position is esteemed.
It is.
As a communications project manager, I'll give my spiel, and then I want you to give the technicality.
Please do. Please do.
First person I ever met pretty much at the company when I got here, he was in charge of just the fun stuff, like blogging. If you're a big writer, he was a big blogger. He was the voice internally and externally of our culture. And now that may sound like a challenge, but our culture kind of speaks for itself. All you have to do is be the mailman of what we as a culture give you. Super fun position. He wrote the blog. He even did some stuff with video. I primarily do that, but he was able to just kind of back up. He did some graphics here and there.
Yep.
He was in charge of setting up, culture building events. Like he was in charge of bowling situations. He set up all of our referral stuff. He was just the voice and the face of what we do as a creative department, as a communications department, and as a esteemed Richmond company.
Yeah.
And that job is now looking for a fill.
It is now open.
It is now open. If you text jobs to
Jobs
87
804-286-6007. Yes, it is there. It is open. It is posted. We are actively reviewing resumes and holding phone screens. We have been all week. So as you stated, though, I mean, it's a huge opportunity to push our culture and a lot of the things that we have going on within the company out to the masses. Yeah. I think we're sitting at like almost 130 people right now. So that's a lot of people to push information out to. But you think about the quarterly events that we do as a company. We got Rock and Bowl coming up in March. We have another event next week. This position is responsible for all that. You're going to play a huge role in scripting C-suite messaging, driving and promoting our community giving efforts, with RWC Cares and moving forward. But, your big topics are really, really community and public relations, company culture, and employee engagement, which is huge with us. Probably one of the top things I'd put up there with our core values and our noble cause. Collaboration, communication, process, and organization. I mean, it just goes on and on.
Yeah.
There's a ton of great things here. We see a lot of former reporters, sometimes TV news anchors respond to this job post throughout the network in the country. So, and simply because, you want to have those best practices when it comes to writing and editing. We have a lot of different platforms you're going to be working with, like GroupMe, The Link, pushing out messages with, what is it? Is it MailChimp? MailChimp. So it is a great opportunity for you to come in, be part of a great cultivating culture, push information out to our employees, be part of a growing creative and digital marketing because we got a lot of things coming up in the non-traditional marketing department. So I highly recommend that if you have those skills, if you're an outgoing person, a go-getter.
One of them go-getters.
Go-getter.
And if you love people,
yes,
if you love on people, and you communicate well with people.
Yep.
That's the core of it.
I want to speak with you.
Yeah. Make sure you text. What's that number, Thomas?
804-286-6007. You'll have it memorized.
I'm going to have it memorized.
You'll have it memorized.
And I hope all of you listening have that memorized. And if we haven't convinced you at this point to text jobs, I don't know what's going to convince you. But those are two huge positions. Thomas, did you have anything? Compensation.
Compensation. So I always believe in throwing a compensation number out there in every one of my job posts. It is important to the candidate that they know
Absolutely.
what their potential compensation is. So we're starting at 55 annually. One of the cool things about this position is a hybrid position. It's not fully remote, but it's a hybrid. Gives you the opportunity to work in office and from home 2 to 3 days a week.
Yeah.
Okay. Which is, in my opinion, one of the biggest things that we're starting to utilize a little bit more as things evolve in the workplace. Full benefits package available to you, and a phenomenal team to be a part of.
Yeah, you're looking at him.
Team
You're looking at one of them right here. Look at me. Look at me.
The man.
The man.
The
but,
myth. The legend.
And this hybrid situation is so nice.
Yeah.
It's one of the.
You can speak on it.
I know.
Yeah.
It's one of the biggest appeals for me because as I'm not putting creative people in a box of like a different species, but I know personally for me, there's nothing better than, especially like editing a long podcast, if I'm able to just sit in my comfortable home knowing that my dog is taken care of, the fiance is doing okay. I can sit there, I can plug in, I can really just, there's some people that are creative, like myself, need a certain type of environment. They need to, just be in a space that they can produce the best quality. And that's what we offer and what is such a huge convenience because we understand and respect the creative process a lot. That is a huge perk of working in the creative department.
Absolutely.
Because we understand that you can take your laptop anywhere as long as if you get that stuff done and has whatever creative process you have. That's the situation. It's just such a cool respect and trust in the creative department, and it's just like you go out, you change the world. If you need to do that from your MacBook in your desk at home, do it.
Absolutely.
You know what I mean?
Absolutely. It's a huge part of the change in the workplace.
Yeah.
Is like I alluded to earlier, you have COVID. You had people working remote, but a lot of companies, to include us, are integrating this hybrid option because people, if you're in a comfortable setting, whether it's at home, at a Starbucks, whatever the case may be, and you're productive, why should it matter?
Yeah, why not?
Right? I mean, unless you have obligations in the office or whatever the case may be, you'll still have a working place specifically in this position. Or if you want to come into the office, you can. But, if you're being productive, you're being productive. It's a trust that we take it to the next level when it comes to all of our positions. So it's an outstanding opportunity.
Outstanding.
Capital letters.
Make sure you follow. Go find Thomas on LinkedIn. He's trying to post a little more on there.
We're getting there.
We're getting there. We're gonna have the opportunity. You can find it. Is it on? I know it's on LinkedIn.
It's gonna be. It's actually gonna be on LinkedIn today.
Let's
I will
go.
have it posted today, so you can search me, Thomas Wiley, Stephen Covert, Lucio Shields, Lauren Muse, Vanessa Rodriguez. Hopefully you got all those names.
Yeah.
I'm going to have it posted on our LinkedIn page as well, Renewal by Andersen, Central Virginia, Richmond Window Corporation. So you can find it, or you can always text 804-286-6007, and you'll find it there, and I'll get your application immediately.
And it'll be. Are there any other platforms? Indeed? Are we gonna have it on Indeed or no?
Yeah, so it'll be on Indeed. It's also on ZipRecruiter. Sweet. And it's the communication specialist, and we look forward to seeing your resume, your application.
Excellent. I think that's everything from us today. Thomas, did you have any other additional thing with the position?
No. We are we're just looking forward to meeting everybody that's interested and making that selection.
Absolutely. Once again, if you are if your culture lines up with our culture and we just have this, and if, Thomas clicks, we hope that you move on to the next steps, but never hurts to try. Thanks for tuning in. This has been Window to the Soul. I hope you have a good rest of your Friday, and I hope leading into the weekend, I hope you soak up this good weather. Today's Thursday, so I can't promise there'll be good weather tomorrow in Virginia, but today's really good. Make sure you follow us on socials. Make sure you save this podcast. If you know anyone that is looking for a job, or your mom is well connected with the local YMCA and she's always talking to communications majors about jobs. If you have a social grandmother that is always connected with the job boards, make sure you send this to her. If you know anyone that's maybe on the fence, wants to be either a canvasser, the jobs we mentioned at the beginning or our communications specialist, make sure you follow the LinkedIn, get to the job board, and just be prepared to have the best job of your life and change your world.
If you are interested in working with our company, regardless of your background, apply, reach out to me. We will have a conversation.
Absolutely. That's it for us today, folks. Thank you so much for listening to Window
To the Soul.